All right, we're live. We're live. All right, Shalom. This is the ISUPK under commanding General Yohana. Since 1969, we've been teaching the truth according to the Bible that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the real children of Israel. The people that you read about in the Bible, the people that God made walk through the Red Sea and live, the people on Mount Sinai that heard the voice of God and lived. Those the descendants of those people today are blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And the Bible, which is the word of the Lord, talks about where we would be in these last days and what we would be suffering because of our disobedience unto God. And even through all that, the Lord made us a way, man. He said, if we return unto him, then you know what I mean, he will protect us. And that's what we're seeing in these last days. So if you're black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, leave that Catholic church alone, man. Leave that mosque alone. Leave the Christian church alone and come back to your God that saved you in the time of Exodus and can save you again, man. So with that being said, we do have a school in England. The address is 394 Lodge Road, postcode B18 5PW. So this school is in the city of Birmingham in the West Midlands. And from this school, we teach classes 3 times a week. And there are 2 classes that you can watch online, but they're not held in the school that we have. All right. So Monday, 7 till 9, you have the history class done by Officer of 5,000, Karafia, going into history. Then on Wednesday in the school, 7 till 9, you have the law class done by Officer of 5,000, Dungabar. Then today you got the scripture breakdown class, same time, 7 till 9. By myself, Captain of 10,000, Parasha. Now, there's classes that are not held in the school, but they are online, YouTube channel and Facebook channel. ISUPK, United Kingdom. So on the Tuesday, either Officer of 50 Tazapuan or Officer of 50 Ra'alban teach the Brotherhood class. You know what I mean? I'll be watching in, and them classes are good, man. Ra'alban, what you was breaking down, paying your tithes.
No, that was just in the description. I was breaking down what was it now? Damn, I think my memory is awful. I forget.
No, man. Forgot the class that you taught.
I'll get it. My memory is just dreadful. I get it.
No, it happens, but it happens. I teach a bad class, and the song goes, what do you teach? Like, huh? Oh,
yeah.
It happens.
God, it was on a gathering together as a nation.
Most High in Christ. So on a Tuesday from Manchester, man, up north, Manny, man, we got the Brotherhood class being taught. Then on Friday, Officer of Shamgar, same time, 7 till 9, same Facebook channel, same YouTube channel. ISUPK, United Kingdom, teaches the Lashawan Quadash class, which is the language class. You know what I mean? Officer of 5,000, Shamgar. This Saturday, we're going to be on the Birmingham High Street. So we will be holding camp on the Birmingham High Street. We did Brixton last week. That was a success. The Lord was with us, most definitely. So that's what we got going on for this week. All right. So with that being said, everyone's head over heels about the Queen's Jubilee. So we're going to get into what is the Queen's Jubilee about and how it's a spit in the face to blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. And the real Jubilee, according to a Bible, the Queen isn't doing that though. So we're going to get into it. So with that being said, this being a scripture breakdown class, if you have any questions, feel free to type them in. If you're in the class, just raise your hand and say Salakia, and you state the question that you have. So before we get into the topic of the class, has anyone got any questions they would like answered? You know what I
Kind
mean?
of.
If you in, yeah,
I,
go ahead.
I have two scriptures. If I could get the breakdown on the picture.
Kanye, just grab that. 1 second, it's coming right back. Right.
What's that?
Okay.
Yeah, Salakia. Yeah, let's get into it.
No, sir. So the first scripture is in Proverbs chapter 16, and verse 21.
Okay, Proverbs 16 and 21.
And it's talking about how when you dwell in wisdom and understanding, it's you'll be called prudent. It's a wise and good thing to trust in the Lord, things like that. But verse 21, I just wanted to get the last bit. It
I
says,
got it.
"The wise in heart shall be called prudent, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning." So that's
Okay, so now if you notice, the first half it has a colon there, meaning what? The second part is going to answer the first part. So the wise heart shall be called a prudent. Now it's going to answer why he's called a prudent,
right.
and the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. So what does that let you know? He's a prudent. Why? Because he heard the sweetness of the lips, man. He's wise. Why? Because he heard people. He heard wise men and he listened. So
Right.
that's what the colon means, meaning the second part of it is answering the first part. So the best way to understand it is this: the wise heart shall be called a prudent. Why? And the sweetness of the lips increaseth learning. So then now you flip it around, and the sweetness of the lips increaseth a learning. Why? Because the wise man shall be called a prudent, meaning he's prudent. Why? Because he heard the sweetness of those lips, man. He heard those wise sayings and he kept them, and you know what I mean? He lived it, if I'm making sense.
Can't. Makes
You
sense.
got, yeah. You had another one.
Go on. In that the same chapter, verse 26. I'll read from 25. So it goes, "There is a way that seemeth right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death." So I understand that that's talking about sin, which seemeth right to men, but the wages of sin is death. But 26, "He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him."
Okay,
Is
ain't no sweat. So the verse up above says, there's things that seem right to you, but the ways of death, meaning in your mind, things make sense. In a sinner's mind, 1+1 = 2, but it's not always the case, man. Assalamu Yahweh Shemi Hafshah Brafta. Good to see you, young man. That's right. All right, man. So basically, in your mind or in the mind of someone who doesn't keep the law, it seems right. It seems right that if I ain't got money, sell drugs. You just show me, well, I've got rent to pay. Are you gonna pay? It seems right, but the end thereof is death, meaning just because you see it that way doesn't mean that it's right, man. And how do you know it's wrong? Because you're locked up, man. Because you're
right.
dead. I mean, because so many calamities come into your life. Why? Because the law doesn't approve of it, even though it seems right to you, man. Like what I said at camp, God doesn't care about what you think, man. So many people can only comprehend God to how they think. When God ain't dealing with how you think, God's doing what He's doing, man. Now, read verse
Right.
26. He that laboreth for himself. Meaning what? A man that sees things right in his own eyes, it's all about him. In the UPK, we labor for you, man. You know what I mean? We're out there doing camp on either Birmingham High Street, either the Brixton High Street for you. We learn this, or we've learned things already. It's not for us. It's for you, man. We don't labor for ourselves. We labor for you, man. And anyone who doesn't keep the law of God, they have a selfish mentality. It's all for them. I'm doing this for me.
Right.
I'm doing this for me. And you know what I mean? And that's the problem. And there's many people you can talk to. And what did it say? I only care about my family. When that's not the Bible. In the UPK, we have families and we go to camp for your family, man. We run the bricks in High Street to save your life and your family, while as a inner labors for himself, man. It's all about me. You know, back in the 90s, enough of the Rasta man used to say, yo, listen, man, black people are destroyed. All you can do is help yourself, man. Fix up yourself. And that is selfish.
Right.
If you claim you love these people, wouldn't you look out for them? Wouldn't you give your all to help them out as much as you can? But that's the problem. Sinners labor for themselves. It's all about them. When someone's selling drugs, are they selling drugs for all of Handsworth? Are they selling drugs for all of Brixton? Are they selling drugs for all of Mosside? Are they selling drugs for all of Tuxteth? No, they're not, man. They're laboring for themselves so that they can have all the new clothes. They can have the Fendi, the red bottoms, the Gucci. It's for themselves. Even though they claim, you know what I mean, I'm helping everyone. No, you're not. It's all about you. And that's how a sinner thinks. All of his labor, all of his energy, all of his effort is for himself. Read the last part.
Come on. He that laboreth for himself, for his mouth craveth it of him.
There you go. Why? Because that's what he says, man. His mouth desires it. I mean, in his mind, I'm gonna get paid, man. I'm gonna get all this money. Why? Because he's selfish. It came out of his mouth. You know a selfish man or woman by what? What they say? Their mouth is craving for it, meaning that selfish desire. It's in their mouth. You know it from the jump. They're selfish even by what they say. So why would you be shocked when they're laboring for themselves? When from the jump, what they uttered, it was selfish anyway. You know a selfish person from afar off, man. Some of the selfish things they say, well, I don't know about you, but I'm doing this, and then you're shocked when they do something selfish, man. When that's what they said. They're saying that you know someone like that. Why? Because that's what they said, man. Which is the point of it, if you understand.
Can't say right. And if I could, would a precept to that be like in Matthew 6:25, where it says, "Take no thought for your life, what you shall eat or what you shall drink," where it's like it's telling the person not to be selfish, not to only think about like themselves and what they should eat and drink. They should keep the laws and that those things will be given unto them. Like not to like dwell on those things and be selfish about them.
Absolutely, you can definitely precept it with that, and you even saying that it's heavy. So many people leave the truth. Why? Because they're selfish, man. You know what I mean? They're like, I could do class, or I could get paid, man. Right. Even though I work 4 days in the week, you know, but on the Thursday night, they're paying double, man. After 5 o'clock, I'll be on £18 an hour. That is selfish, man.
Right.
And that person takes no thought. They're not thinking, listen, man, I've made enough money, or the Lord may work something else out. But you know what I mean? As an officer, as a captain in the UPK, it's my obligation to teach this class, man.
That's right.
It's my obligation to be here and do the job that the Lord has handed me, man, through his men in the UPK. And what happens? They take thoughts. Nah, man, UPK ain't paying my bills. I'm sorry, man. Salakia. I've got to go do that shift, man. And what happens? Remember, you do one thing, it's going to lead to other things, man. Then what's next? Camp on Saturdays. That Saturday shift, they're paying £20 an hour. I
Right.
can't miss that. Even though I've done 5 days a week, that Saturday shift, no man, nah man, no one ain't paying for my car. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I gotta look out for me. And then before you know it, the person leaves the truth, man. Before you know it, that person is not coming to no class, not coming to no camp. And before you know it, one day they're in the world, man. One day, you ain't seen them in years, and you are going to see them one day, and they're gonna have no hair on their head, no beard, you know what I mean? No fringes, no boots, and be like, nah, the UPK thing, that's had to work, and you know what I mean? And then what? They go back in the world, man. So absolutely, being selfish is one of the reasons why you can leave the truth, man.
Right.
It being all about you and you and you and you will eventually be the reason why you won't be here anymore, man. So absolutely, that's a precept that you can add on to that too. All right.
I can't what to say.
Anything else?
Yeah, if I could, there was one more. I just wanted to check the understanding on it. Was Second Chronicles chapter 6 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, if a man sin against his neighbor and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear.
Stuck one second, let me get there. Second Chronicles 6 and 22, was it?
Come on.
All right, let me get there with you.
This is where Solomon is talking about, he's praying to the Lord where if the people of Israel are in, they're in sin, but they change, then hear their prayers and maintain their cause type thing. And then he uses this example. It'd be 22 and 23 that kind of go together, and I just need to break down them.
I got you. All right, then let's read that. Second Chronicles 6 and 22.
If a man sin against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house.
Okay, so you want the law on this, what he's on about? Or all right, that is in Exodus. So actually we will read it, but there's a law where if you lend someone goods and it gets taken from their house, and that person goes, it's not me. Before a judge, they have to lay an oath that, listen, I have not put hands on my neighbor's goods. All right, let's get that in Exodus, I believe it's like 23. Get the...
Oh, Exodus 22 and 11. I get that.
Okay, Exodus 22 and 11. That might be 22 and 11. All right, yeah. Start from verse 10. No, actually, no. Start from verse 9. So this is what would happen. It would go before a priest.
Mm-hmm.
Exodus 22 and 9.
For all manners of trespass, whether it be for ox, or for ass, for sheep, for raiment, or for any manner of lost thing, which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor.
There, so it went before a judge. Now, who would a judge be? A priest, meaning he would hear your side of the story, and he would hear the opposing side, and he would determine who's right and who's wrong. If there's witnesses, it helps the case. But he will ask questions. He will pick at you, till if you lie, you start to fumble up. You know what I mean? And basically, he decides who is right and wrong based on the evidence and based on the statements that he has, just like court. You know what I mean? So that's how matters were handled legally, which is heavy because imagine a society where everyone takes everything into their own hands. That would be chaotic, man. it's just the right thing that it goes before someone. Why? Because if this person feels wronged, what's going to happen? He's going to just kick down his door and just take his life. Then if this person feels like, I don't like this person, he's going to take matters into his own hands. And in England, what do people like to say? Call 999. Don't take matters into your own hands. We had it in the Bible thousands of years ago, man.
Right.
Where you go to a priest, you don't take matters into your own hands. But let's read verse 10.
If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ass or an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die, or be hurt, or driven away, no man seeing it.
So now these are three situations that can happen to a man's goods. Meaning, you told him, listen, can you hold this for me? Can you watch this for me? And what happened? It got hurt. You know what I mean? You was watching it for him. You probably went to the shop. And you know what I mean? It got hurt. It probably fell in the ditch, sprained its ankle, hurt, or die. Slucky, I can 1 second.
No, sir.
Yeah, sorry about that. So it be hurt or it die. You know what I mean? You was watching his goods. Late nights, a lion came, devoured his ox, his ass, or his sheep. That's one example. Or it driven away. No man seen it. Meaning, under night, the rope you had around it, it got loose, and it driven away. You know what I mean? Just went on a journey. No man seen it. Meaning, there's no one that can say, yes, I saw an ox go that way. It's lost. No one knows. Let's find out what happens. Reader.
Then shall an oath of the Lord be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's goods.
There's now a oath, man, a promise. You know what I mean? You're going to make an oath before the Lord that it's not me, man. And listen, if you're lying, you can die, man. You mess with the Lord and you're lying in a council of the Lord, that is death, man. So this man, like, listen, I'll make an oath with you that I didn't take nothing. You know what I mean? I'm not deceiving you. I'm not lying to you. I'm not trying to underhand you. You know what I mean? It's hurt. I don't know why. It's a driven away. I don't know why. It's dead. It's not my fault. Reader.
And the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good.
There's what? The owner thereof shall accept it. Meaning it goes, well, listen, he made an oath. It's not him. And he's alive. Then that's it then. It's not his fault. So that's where you find it. Okay. All right. Read verse 12. So now there's a flip side. So now, if he genuinely don't know and it's not his fault, but now verse 12 is going to break down another side of this.
And if it be stolen from him, he shall make restitution unto the owner thereof.
So now, if it is stolen from him, now you do have to pay him. Meaning, you're meant to be guarding or watching this man's goods, and you let someone take it. Now you do have to pay, man. If it died, you don't know why. If it's hurt, you don't know why. If it's lost, you don't know why. But if someone stole it, then it is your fault, man. And there's no oath for that. You have to pay him back for what goods this individual lost. Reader.
If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn.
So if it's torn, man, meaning this sheep was devoured by some lion, some, you know what I mean, some ferocious animal, bring the evidence and go, look, I'm not a thief. Listen, look at the evidence. This cow is in pieces, man.
Right.
It's clearly not me, then you don't have to pay him back for that. You can't help what a lion does. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's out of your hands. So let's get back to Second Chronicles. Was it 6:22?
Con. Second Chronicles 6:22. If a man sin against his neighbor, and an oath be laid upon him to make him swear, and the oath come before thine altar in this house.
So meaning what? Of course, King Solomon, he built a temple at this time. So before this, you just went to a priest, but now what? The high priests are now in a temple. So now you know what I mean. So now what? Those matters we read about in the Bible, they will come here, man.
So should I read on?
Yeah, Kanye, read on.
Con. Then hear thou from heaven, and do, and judge thy servants, by requiting the wicked, by recompensing his way upon his own head.
There you go. So just like how a judge, just like how a judge would judge, saying, please, Father, in this temple that we've made, do that same thing, man. Let those priests have your judgments. You mean by requiting the wicked, meaning what? Paying back the wicked, paying back that thief. He's a thief, pay it back, man. Make that thief pay back double. That's how you require it back, man. He's saying, please, in this place, in this temple that are made in your name, make righteousness happen here, man. Please. Make justice be in this place. Please, Father, man. You know what I mean? Which is the point. Reader.
So Slack here, if I could.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he's essentially praying that the Most High's will is carried out in the temple, and the priests, they have the power to, give the judgments, and like they do it correctly according to the law.
That's right. So basically, the point is, in the temple that is made, is saying, please, in this place, let righteousness be done, man.
Correct.
Like how a priest, a judges, and meant to be right in this place, please, man, let your will be done in this place. You know what I mean? Which is the point of verse 22. No,
Right.
23.
Cool.
Read on.
So Slack, if I could again.
Good.
So verse 22 is just giving an example of the type of things that the high priest would determine and
there you go. So it's just giving that law as an example. It could have been anything, but that's the one that King Solomon chose to use.
Okay. By recompensing his way upon his own head, and by justifying the righteous by giving him according to his righteousness.
There you go. And justifying the righteous according to his righteousness, meaning what that righteous man did, pay them back for their righteousness. Meaning this man, he's not a thief. And what happened? He shouldn't have to pay a fine. He shouldn't have to recompense anything if he's righteous. So don't make him pay. Basically, the point is, in this place, let righteous judgment be done, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what happened when you go to Jeremiah, Isaiah, righteousness wasn't being done. The priest took bribes, which is in the Bible too. You can get those verses in Jeremiah where they judge for hire. That is a verse in the book of Malachi. So meaning in this place, we wasn't doing righteousness.
Right.
If you paid us enough, you could get away, man. And that's what King Solomon did not want to happen. But as time went on, in our history, that's what we did. We started to judge for hire, meaning this person pays you enough. Nah, he's innocent. Even though the evidence clearly is showing you this person is guilty, we would just let them go. So, to show the opposites, you can use Jeremiah, Malachi, Ezekiel. There's numerous verses you can use in the Bible where it will show you that as time went on, we dabbled in unrighteousness and we did the opposite of this verse right here. That's well, all right. Ain't no sweat. All right, and so we're gonna get into the Queen's Jubilee. So we're gonna first get into what is the Queen's Jubilee for those that don't know. So for viewers online that are international, in England we do have a existing so-called royal family. Not in England alone. In France, you had a royal family. In Germany, at one point, you had a royal family. In Greece, you do have a existing royal family, and in some parts of the world, the royal family died off. You know what I mean, or they lost their preeminence. But in some countries, there still is a royal family that managed to survive. World War One, World War Two, and many civil wars that they had. All right, so right now in England, you have Queen Elizabeth II. So meaning she's the second Queen Elizabeth, meaning down in her history, there was a Queen Elizabeth before her. So she's having a jubilee. Why? Because as a queen, she's had the history of the longest a monarch on the throne. So meaning King George wasn't on the throne as long as her, and many people before her too. So that's what this jubilee is about. 70 years she has been on the throne, which is why England's having this jubilee. So we'll get into it. I'll screen share it for you, right?
Okay.
All right. Is that visible? All right. Young man, if you mind reading this about the Queen's Jubilee.
Fuck it, so I can't really see it.
I can't really see it. Oh, no sweat. But Alban, are you able to see it?
Come on, sir. The Queen's Platinum Jubilee 2022. In 2022, Her Majesty the Queen will become the first British monarch to celebrate a Platinum Jubilee after 70 years of service.
All right, so that is literally what this is about, man. I know so many of you heard it on the radio. You heard it, damn near everywhere you went, man. Whether you're black, whether you're white, people are throwing parties up, man. Even outside the school right now, there's a party for the Queen's Jubilee, man. You know what I mean? You got all the rum and the Guinness all over the roadside, man. You know what I mean? But people doing it, and why this is the reason why. Well, you know what I mean? Or it's not the reason for everyone, but for some people, it's an excuse to have a party on the road, and they're using it to their advantage. Read on.
Says, get involved in celebrating Her Majesty's historic reign in the run-up to the Platinum Jubilee Central Weekend, which takes place from the 2nd of June to the 5th of June.
There you go. All right, so we can stop him there. So basically, she's had 70 years on the throne, which makes it her Platinum Jubilee. And what they're saying is, you know what I mean, from the 2nd, which is today, to the 5th, man. So meaning a long weekend, man. I was just partying and, everyone's celebrating 70 years of her on the throne as the Queen of England. So what I'm going to do, I'll read this one from my end, or I'll read some of it from my end. Do you want to know what makes this so ridiculous? The Queen isn't even from England, man. Who knows that?
I didn't even know that.
You want to know, her family's from Germany. And to hide their German roots, they changed their name to Windsor. Meaning what? When it came to King George in 1916, I believe, he said, you know what? To hide our German roots, let's change our last name to Windsor. But if you research it, it was actually a Germanic last name, and I'll show it for you right now. So while you're celebrating the Queen of England, the Queen you are celebrating for isn't even English. She's
Right.
German, and of course, the Bible says to prove all things. So
Right.
what are we gonna do, man? We're gonna show you right now, man. So now I'll read this from my end, right? Because
Come on,
the
fam.
writing might be very fine. So there we have it, man. This is history.com. You know what I mean? It's not ISUPK.com. It's not some, fabricated website. This is, what I mean, history right here. So let's read it, man. In 1917, June the 19th, Britain's King George, I think the V is a 5.
Come on, King George V.
I got it. Just making sure my Roman numerals are right, man. King George V changes royal surname. So let's get into it. On June 19th, 1917, during the third year of World War One, Britain's King George V orders the British royal family to dispense with the use of German titles and surnames. Meaning what? King George had a German surname, man.
Right.
They're not English. The royal family, the Queen of England, her ancestry isn't even English. How ironic is that, man? That's ridiculous. You're celebrating a Queen of England whose roots ain't even English. In the Bible, you're from the house of David. Why? Because your roots trace back to David. How are you going to have a Queen of England who's not even really English?
Right.
That's insane. Changing the surname of his own family and decidedly Germanic Sax, a Coburg, a Gotha to Windsor, meaning before they were the House of Windsor, their last name was Sax Coburg Gotha, man. That is a German surname. You know what I mean? If you don't believe me, believe the surname, man. They're not even English. You know what I mean? The second son of Prince Edward of Wales, later King Edward VII, and Alexander of Denmark, the grandson of Queen Victoria, George was born in 1865 and embarked on a naval career before becoming heir of the throne in 1892, when his older brother Edward died of pneumonia. The following years, George married the German princess Mary of Teck, his cousin and granddaughter to King George III, who had previously been intended for Edward. So that's going into some descendancy. But I'll scroll down to the point where it breaks down that they are from Germany, man. You can read the rest in your own time. Second World War. Okay, even a more proof to show you that they're of German ancestry. Within the outbreak of World War One, in the summer of 1914, strong anti-German feelings within Britain caused sensitivity among the royal family about its German roots. So meaning, remember, in World War One, they're fighting Germans, and they knew they was of German ancestry, and it kind of caused some feelings among them. Why? Because they know their German roots. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany, also a grandson of Queen Victoria, was the king's cousin. The queen herself was German. As a result of 19th of June 1917, the king decreed that the royal family surname was therefore changed from Saxe Coburg Gotha to Windsor. Imagine that. They're not even English. They are German.
Yeah.
And even when World War One was happening, they felt away. They felt away, man. Let me see if there's some more. I've run through the points. Uh, that's pretty much it on that. But of course, other sources of information, you'll find more. But that's just the point being made that, listen, these people are not even English.
Right.
You're celebrating the Queen of England. She's not even English. She's German. And they know it's nothing that we don't know. It's something they know among themselves that, listen, although we're ruling in England, we're not of English ancestry. A cousin or two here or there, but their roots, their surname is German.
Right.
And imagine that, man. While people celebrate the Queen of England, we have a queen. Really, the Germans should be saying that, man. The Germans have a queen. You don't, man.
Right.
Everyone's got the Union Jack flag, which is Saint George and the Saint of Wales and the Saint of Scotland, where you get the Union Jack flag from. And guess what? The queen you're celebrating for isn't even English, man. And that's the irony of this Jubilee. You're celebrating someone who's not even English. But it gets better, man. And let's get into some more. So now, what we're gonna do? The Queen's having a Jubilee anniversary, but let's get into the Jubilee according to the Bible, man. Let's get numbers. So we had a Jubilee in the Bible too, and let's see what the real Jubilee meant for the children of Israel. One second. One second. I'm sure it's in numbers, but let me. Yeah. Let me find it. All right. So okay, it is Leviticus 25:1. It's not even that one at all.
This is the book of Leviticus 25:1. And the Lord spake unto Moses in Mount Sinai, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when ye come into the land which I give you, then shall the land keep a Sabbath unto the Lord.
So meaning we even had laws of the land, man. Meaning what? Even the land had rest. Meaning for so many years you would plant crops, you grow your carrots, your potatoes, and then even land had a rest, man. On the 49th year, you gave that patch of land a rest. Like, listen, it might not be this one, but I believe it's you planted for 6 years, and then on the 7th year, you gave the land rest, man. We even had the law on that you don't abuse the land, that for one whole year, just let that patch of land rest, man. Just let it, grow wild and, just let it do what it wants. So that what? You give that dirt, you give that soil some rest, man. Read on.
Verse 3. 6 years thou shalt sow thy field, and 6 years thou shalt prune thy vineyard, and gather in the fruit thereof. Verse 4. But in the 7th year shall be a Sabbath of rest unto the land.
There you go. And also, I'll break that section down. But in the 7th year is a Sabbath unto the land, meaning we even gave land rest, man. We shows you that this whole Queen's Jubilee is not biblical at all, man.
Right.
Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians worked on those Caribbean islands owned by the Queen and got no rest, man, for 400 years.
That's right.
never gave us rest, man. We showed you they're not God fearing people. They don't believe in the Bible, and of course they're wrong, point blank, for even enslaving us, man. But these are people. They claim they follow the Bible. They claim England is a Christian country, but never follow what God says, man.
That's right.
Read on.
A Sabbath for the Lord. Thou shalt neither sow thy field, nor prune thy vineyard. Verse 5. That which groweth of its own accord of my harvest, thou shalt not reap, neither gather the grapes of thy vine undressed. For it is a year of rest unto the land.
And imagine that. So even though you've left the land, any fruits or vegetation it produces, don't even pick it, man. Just make it grow, make it rest, man. Why? Because that's what the Lord wants. And that shows how merciful the Lord is, man. The Lord even gives the Lord even gives dirt rest, man. It gives grass and land rest. All right, we'll skip down. All right, skip to verse 8.
Verse 8. And thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years.
There you go. So meaning, now this is another rest, man. Now we're gonna read it, but in 49 years, you was free from everything, man. If you was in debt, some crazy debt that you could not pay, and you worked for someone, you did it for 49 years, you was free, man. Afterwards, like, listen, like, this person's worked for you enough, man. If
Right.
you know what I mean, owed something or was a servant, you was free from that debt after 49 years, man. If it wasn't paid off or already. So now we had so in the 49th year, this was a Jubilee, and this is the real Jubilee right here, man. We're
Come.
gonna get into it. Read on.
Verse 9. Then shalt thou cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land.
There, so okay, so on the 49th day of atonement, you will sound the horn and let people know, listen, this isn't just the yearly day of atonement. This one is a Jubilee day of atonement, man. Read on.
Verse 10. And ye shall hallow the 15th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land until.
All right. So now on the 50th year, so the year after that day of atonement, you proclaim liberty throughout all the land. Meaning what? You proclaim freedom for that land, man. You tell everyone whatever debts you owe, whatever mess you're in, it's over, man. Now, did England do that for us?
We were working more than 49 years.
We was enslaved 400 years,
That's
and
right.
there was no Jubilee, man.
Right.
There was no, listen, man, with the slaves, it's a year of Jubilee, man. We gotta let them go, man. It's freedom now. Every debt you owe, any, mess you in that you can't get out of, you know what? We gotta make them go. We showed you England is not a biblical based country, man.
That's right.
Nonsense. I say this all the time. For those of you that believe England is a Christian country, what is a mosque doing here then, man?
Right.
What is a Hindu good Awara doing here with gold? Do you know those Indian temples that you see? That gold is real. When you see that a chimney pot that is shaped like this, that is real gold, It's not make believe. That is gold imported from India. They don't just get any gold. They see it as something holy to them, and they get that gold from India. The gold linings on the floor when you're inside, that is real gold. Those Indian temples are worth millions because they believe that's what they need to do for their God. And if England is a Christian country, then what is it doing here, man? If England is a Christian country, then what is a mosque doing here, man? Why? Because they don't believe in God, man. They're not a God-fearing people, man. They serve themselves. And what does our oppressor like? Money, man. The first commandment is, thou shalt have no other God before me. If there's a mosque here, people are serving another God. If there's a Indian good warrior here, then people are serving another God, man.
Right.
That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? But guess what? They care about money, man. And other
Right.
nations bring money, man. For you to even bring gold into England, there's a tax. And if you're bringing all that gold to make a temple, England gets paid from that, man.
Fine.
And that's what it is all about, man. It's all about money, reader.
I'll start from the top, sir. And ye shall hallow the 15th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you.
That's right.
And ye shall return every man unto his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family.
And there you go, man. That's what the real Jubilee is, man.
Right.
What anyone that was subject to death, they're free, man. You know what I mean? God forbid, you know what I mean? Someone got into some serious debt that they can't get out of. The Lord's saying, listen, man, there has to come a point in life where it has to end, man. You can't have a brother in debt to you all his life. You
Right.
got to, man. He can't work for you till he's dead, trying to pay off the debt. So the Lord, being so merciful, He gave a point in time where, listen, afterwards, debts are gone, man. Now,
Cool.
God forbid, you got in debt at the beginning of the Jubilee and had to do all those years. You know what I mean? You never know. You might
Right.
get on the 46 year. You know what I mean? You might do a few years here and there. But you know what I mean? It's very peak for the person that got into debt once the Jubilee was done, man.
Right.
Ooh, you got 50 years of some hard work, man. But that's how merciful the Lord is, that even in time, He appoints a time where, listen, everyone gets off from any debt or any situation they're in, where you got to let them go. Why? Because that's sad, man. Imagine for a mistake that you did, you pay for it all your life, man. Which shows you how mean England is. Imagine this: when you're 16 or you could be younger, might be even older, you committed a crime, and it's on your record for life, man.
Right.
Can't get a job, can't, you know what I mean, do the things that you want to do because of criminal record. Which shows you how much England does not fear the Lord, man. Even in the Bible, there comes a time where you gotta just let it go, man. You gotta just go, you know what? Whatever, man. He did this, but it's in the past now. But England doesn't do that, man. There's people that got criminal records for forever, man. 1 second, Akim. It's got it.
Okay.
Yeah, so like yeah. So even in the Bible, there's a point in time where you gotta just let things go, man. You can't let something of the past haunt this man all his life, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you got the year of Jubilee, where you know what I mean, after an appointed time every 50 years, you gotta just let people go, man. You got to just forgive and just let that individual go, man. You can't have him subject in debt to you all your life, man. Imagine that for a mistake this person did, he's your servant all his life. He's forced to have to work on your farm all his life, man, because he's in debt. That's not fair. And in
Right.
the Bible, every 50 years, people go, man. People are free. People are like, you know what? It's the time of a jubilee. Let that person go home, man. Let that debtor just be free. Why? Because it makes sense and the Lord is merciful, man. While as in England, what? You did a crime when you were 16 as a big 30-year-old man. That crime is always going to be haunting you, man.
Right.
That record is always going to be that burden on your back. Why? Because England just can't forgive, man. England doesn't follow that real jubilee, man, where they can't let you go, and that's the problem. Reader,
Verse 11. A jubilee shall that 15th year be unto you. Ye shall not sow, neither reap that which groweth of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it.
all right,
Of
no sweat. Sakia, if you skip to verse 13,
verse 13. In the year of this jubilee ye shall return every man unto his possession.
there you go, man. So what? In the year of jubilee, every man returns unto his possession, man. Meaning, whoever owns you, you go back to that person, man. If you was a servant for someone else, but because that a master he was in debt and he sold you, in the year of jubilee, you go back to that person, man. You know what I mean? Just say there was a man that owned a business and he got into some serious debt, and you being a worker of his, he sold you. It's like, listen, you know, I'm up to my neck in debt. He had taken this person. In the year of jubilee, that person's free, man. They go back. Read on.
Verse 14. And if thou sell on
Or
aught unto thy neighbor, or buyest aught of thy neighbor's hand, ye shall not oppress one another.
there you go, man. Meaning, don't oppress me. If you buy something of someone, don't oppress him with it. If he can't pay it all now, don't use that as an advantage to oppress him, man. Don't go, well, it can't afford it. You know what? I'm gonna use that as my advantage, man. I'm gonna add interest on it. I'm gonna tax him high so that you know what I mean. I can get rich of him. We are not meant to oppress each other, man. We don't do those things. And why is it saying this? Because without the Lord, that's what people would do, man.
Right.
Imagine you got someone in the palm of your hand, man. Financially, you can get rich. You can go, yo, he owes me a ton of money and he can't even afford it.
Mm-hmm.
If I add interest on him, I'll even get more, man.
Mm-hmm.
I know he can't afford it. And if I add more and I pile it on and I pile it on, damn there, he's going to be paying me forever, man. And the
Right.
Lord didn't want that. That's why he's saying, listen, if someone sells you something, don't oppress them. Don't see that they need the money. And in your evil mind go, well, hey, this person's broke. How about I get more of him? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or if he's buying something off you and you know he can't afford it, don't oppress him. Don't abuse him. Don't abuse this man. Don't take advantage of him. And why am I going into this? Because this is what England does, man. Have you ever heard of Lloyd's Bank? You ever heard of Barclays Bank? You ever heard of NatWest? These places take advantage of you. You
Right.
ever get into an overdraft? What happens? Would anyone like to read my mind?
It's like if I could,
Yeah, good.
they just add interest until you just keep paying.
There you go, man. They add on interest, they oppress you. You have a bank, and God forbid, you had a bill and it went into your overdraft. They have a charge that same day, man. There's a charge
Right.
having the overdraft, and that's so unfair. You clearly ain't got the money. That's why it went into a overdraft, and then you give me an overdraft charge. That's oppression. You don't have the money, and you charge me for that too. And then if you ain't been paid, forget that. You're gonna have an overdraft charge every day, man.
Right.
Depending on what bank you got, daily you are gonna receive an overdraft charge, man. You know what I mean? For the next day, this and that, and you get paid at the end of the month. Forget it, man. Your wages are just paying the overdraft. You know what I mean? Not that is what you made is not even gonna be in your account once you pay off the overdraft. That is oppression that England puts on black people, man. Which the Bible says in the Jubilee, that's what you don't do. Read on.
Verse 15. According to the number of years after the Jubilee, thou shalt buy of thy neighbor, and according unto the number of years of the fruits, he shall sell unto thee.
There, so once the Jubilee is done, if you do want to buy land, if there's fruits you do want to buy, now the price is based after the year of the Jubilee. Why? Because the fruits might not be that right. Remember, like, well, it's only 1 year after, so the price would be like this. You can't charge a man full a price for some fruits that are basically brand new. You know what I mean? They ain't really got the nourishment that fruits for a long time would have. So it's saying that don't rob people. You know what I mean? And land. So now the price or the Sadak and market is based after the year of Jubilee, man. So you don't oppress people, you don't rob people. There's a stock market in which you buy and you sell, basically. Read on.
Verse 16. According to the multitude of years, thou shalt increase the price thereof. And according to the fewness of years, thou shalt diminish the price of it.
And imagine that, man. While people talk about the economy, we had that, man. We had a stock market right here, man, where with the stock, there's a value of it depending on the price after the year of Jubilee or how long, after Jubilee, or if it was like a year after, it could be 6 years afterwards. There's a price, meaning what? We had the economy thousands of years ago, man. All these things that you see in England, Israelites had these things ages ago, man. We had that stock market. We had that stuff. I got a comment online from Rakar Yashua. Jubilee has cost us taxpayers 2.3 billion this year, and some people are not even getting paid for those days off, but are forced to take it off. You see, that's how you know the Jubilee, according to the Bible, is not the same Jubilee that the Queen has, man. It's not the same Jubilee that England is representing, man. Imagine this. You put money into this economy and can't even get the days off, man. You can look this up. England is one of the most highest taxing countries on the earth. Research it, man. America doesn't get taxed like how England does. Many countries do not pay as much tax as you would in England, man. And then you can't even get any benefits from it.
Right.
For according to the number of the years of the fruits, doth he sell unto thee. Verse 17. Ye shall not therefore oppress one another, but thou shalt fear thy God, for I am the Lord your God.
And there you go, man. Saying, don't oppress each other. Don't let the year of Jubilee come and like, I still want to hold that land, you know. That was a good land, you know. I know he was in debt and he sold it to me, but I don't want to let it go. The Lord's saying, don't oppress each other, man. Fear me. And if you fear the Lord, let that land go, man. Let that person go. Don't abuse him. So I'm gonna get into another article. So we spoke about the year of Jubilee. We spoke about land. We spoke about all these things. Let's find something out about the Queen of England. 1 second. It's gonna turn the volume up.
That's right.
All right, so I'm going to get into this article. So now, remember, in the Jubilee, it spoke about freeing up land, man. It spoke about freeing up all these things. Let's find out something about the Queen of England, man. Now, she's been on the throne 70 years. Let's see if she kept this part about the Jubilee, man. Watch this. So this is from the Insider, and this is the 15 biggest landowners on the face of the earth. And guess who is number one? Queen Elizabeth II, man.
Right.
She is the biggest landowner on the earth. And let's read about her. So how much land does the Queen own? 6.6 billion acres of land worldwide, including Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Canada, Australia, and few other spots here and there. Now, I'm going to break it down for you. What are the few other spots here and there? The West Indies, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't want to say that. Why? Because slavery happened there, man.
Correct.
So, you know what I mean? So, they don't want to mention Jamaica. They don't want to mention Trinidad. You know what I mean? Because it won't sound right.
Right.
So, that's why I said a few other spots here and there. Listen, man. The Queen is the biggest landowner. Now, if you believe in the year of Jubilee, shouldn't these lands go free?
Right.
Shouldn't Canada be free? Shouldn't Northern Ireland be free? Shouldn't Australia be free? Shouldn't the West Indies be free from the Queen's hand? They should, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You believe in Jubilees, so let Trinidad go, man. Let Montserrat go. Let Grenada go, man. Let St. Anne's, let St. Vincent's go, man. Let these places go that what you rule over and you reap the benefits of, man. It's the Jubilee. You know what I mean? There should be a live announcement of, listen, it's the year of Jubilee. You know, England's a God-fearing country. Guess what? Everyone gets their land back, man. Northern Ireland, you know what I mean? You lot get back to drinking your Irish moss and just be free, man. You know what I mean? Canada, you're free. Australia, you're free from English rain, man. Jamaica, Trinidad, Montserrat, St. Anne, St. Vincent, St. Lucia, you're free from, you know, British rain. But she won't do that, man. Why? Because they don't believe in God, man.
Right.
They don't fear the Lord like how you think they do, man. Here and there. And there, also the all-important Falkland Islands, man. Imagine that. Imagine that. For someone who claims it's a Jubilee, doesn't the Jubilee say let land go? That's the whole point, man. That what? People that are in debt to you, they're free. 1 second. All right, background. England's third and most likely soon to be second longest serving monarchy Elizabeth II retains royal title over the British Commonwealth. So meaning what? What is the Commonwealth? It's a country that brought wealth to Britain, like the West Indies. They brought wealth to England through the cotton trade, the sugar trade. You know what I mean? The a coffee bean trade, the cocoa bean trade. You know what I mean? That's why the Commonwealth, these places brought wealth into England, and such as manages to keep her face on the money throughout the globe. Imagine that, man. The people you oppress, you got the nerve to put your face on the money, man. You should be ashamed for what England done. You should be like, you know what? I don't even want my face on the money. You should be like, from what my ancestors did to them, it's just wrong to have a face on the money that I'm ruling over them. You mean, how about we put someone else's face on the money? You're so proud and arrogant. Even though you rape these people, rob these people, you still want to put your face on the money, man. Scroll down some more. With her 6.6 billion acres, Elizabeth II is far and away the world's largest landowner, with the closest runner-up, King Abdullah, holding control over a mere 5.47 million, or about 12% of land owned by her Majesty the Queen. Imagine that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The all-loving, caring Queen is the biggest landowner on the face of the earth, man. And guess what? If South Africa didn't get their independence, they would be on that list too, man. If there was no English-American war, the Queen would be owning the east coast of America right now, man. It was the Spanish that owned the west coast. That's why you got Los Angeles, Los. You know what I mean? That is Spanish. And the British owned what you would call the east coast of America. You know what I mean? And the French, they had some of the south. That's where you got like Louisiana and places like that. Those are French, man. Those are French colonies of America. Then, you know, the white man who called himself American, he beat all of them. And that's why you have what you got, which is America right now. So he beat the English, the Spanish, and the French. And that's what you got America now, but they still hold French, English, and Spanish names. Los Angeles, you know what I mean? And those names. You got Louisiana, which is French. And then you got, even in America, you got Manchester, New York. You know what I mean? You got Birmingham. Why? Because though their descendants came from England, but if there was no English-American war, then guess what? America would be on that list. She's the largest landowner now. Over certain wars and certain independences, she lost land. And even with that, she's still the largest landowner, man. Imagine that. Imagine that, man. All right, man. 1 second. So it's getting into my notes. Got it all planned out. All right, no sweat. Let's get Psalms. Psalms 45 and verse 2.
Book of Psalms, chapter 45, verse 2. Thou art fairer than the children of men.
1 second, let me get there with you. So these new Bibles. Psalms 45, 2. Yeah. I'm with you.
Thou art fairer than the children of men.
You know what? Suck it. Start from verse 1.
Come. My heart is inditing a good matter. I speak of the things which I have made touching the king. My tongue is the pen of a ready writer.
So what he's talking about, man? This man here who wrote this psalm, he's talking about the king. Now, the book of Psalms, what attributed to King David, man. So this is King. So now this writer is talking about King David right here. Now, King David, he is real royalty, man. This is a real king right here, not King George. You know what I mean? Who what happened to him? He hurt his hip on a horse ride. Like come on, like you know what I mean? What a wimp, man.
Right.
Horses are meant to be ridden, and you're hurting your hip on a horse ride. Such a wimp.
Boy, fragile.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? King David could ride a horse, man.
That's
Now, I believe he fell off a horse and he broke his pelvis. You know what I mean? Listen, man, in war, people fall off horses all the time, man. And you're hurting your pelvis and hurting your hip, man. That's not a king I could look up to, man. Oh, my pelvis is hurting me. Oh, no. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? What kind of a warrior is complaining about his hip hurting him, man? You know what I mean? Some king you got. But anyway, let's read on.
Come. Thou art fairer than the children of men.
So meaning the king we had, he was nicer than the regular man. Now he's not just talking about his looks, meaning what he wore, how he dressed, how he carried himself, man. This is real royalty right here, man.
Right.
Where a man had to write about the king that we had, like, yo, he's not like any other man. Look at what he's wearing, man. Look at that diamond. Look at that diamond in his headpiece, man. He's got some garment with real gold in it, man. He's got some, you know what I mean? He got a garment with some diamond fringes on it, man. I mean, life shows you that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are the real royalty, man. Life shows you. If you think I'm lying, why does everyone want to dress like us, man?
Right.
Why? Because we are royalty, man. Everyone wants to look like a king, and we look like kings, man. In that Nike tracksuit, how we wear it, we look like kings, man. Those Nike and trainers, listen, anyone can buy it, but there's one people that wear it, man. And that's us, man. Life shows you that we are kings. Imagine this. We are descendants of the slave trade, and England wants to be like us. People that live in England, people that come to England want to be like us. Why? Because we are kings, man. You come to England and what? Automatically, you want to talk like a brother from the islands, man. Right. Your slang, your lingo, it's not English lingo. That's Jamaican lingo, man. You don't know, because in London, I've seen Turks say it, Moroccans say it, Indians say it, Pakistanis say it, Bangladeshis say it, Kurds say it. And that is Benjamin West Indian lingo, man. Cool. But you know, when you're in England, if you don't talk like that, you ain't getting no girls, man.
Right.
No one don't want to mess with you. That's why? Right. Because we are kings, even in the situation we are in. Life shows you who the real kings are. Imagine this, the poor of England, everyone wants to be like them, man. You know, years ago, there was a grime MC from North London, Abra Kadabra, and he's from Ghana. And they asked him, why do you talk like a Jamaican? And, you know, he was trying to worm his way around it. You know, it's just on the ends. It's just on the ends. No, it's not on the ends, man. Mm-hmm. You talk like that. Why? Because we are kings, and you know, damn, that sounds good, man. Right. That shit sounds, you mean, that sounds cool, man. You're not speaking any Ghanaian dialects on the songs. Why? Because no one cares, man. Right. The Ghanaians ain't the kings of the earth. No one wants to hear that. But everyone wants to hear how the Israelites talk, though. Everyone wants to hear the lingo we have. Why? Because life shows you who the real kings are, man.
That's right.
I'm gonna tell you something. Years ago, a tracksuit was seen as a chav item, man. You wore tracksuits. That was like, oh, he came in his tracksuit, you know. Oh gosh. Till what? The king started wearing it, man. We started making it look nice. We was modeling that shit, man.
Right.
And then what happened? All of a sudden now everyone's wearing tracksuits. Everyone wants to, you know what I mean, buy every kind of a tracksuit. At one point, you know what I mean, to even wear a trainers, really, I'm gonna let you in on something. In the 60s, the only time you wore those if you was running, we wear a trainers every day. That was not the case, you know. You know what I mean? If you was on the street, you wore shoes. A trainer was for athletics. If you was
Right.
running, doing sport. But in your everyday life, you wore shoes. And it's black people that what? We wore them every day, man.
Mm-hmm.
And then now what? It's just normal to wear trainers every day. But at one point in time, you wore shoes. You wore nice shoes. When it comes to athletics or running or badminton, you wore the trainers. To what? It was Israelites. So what? We wore trainers every day. To what? Now wearing trainers is a part of just everyday life. Why? Because we are those kings of the earth, man. Life,
Calm.
life shows you, even without a crown, people follow kings, man. Even though people don't look at us as a noble race of people, life shows you who the real kings are, man. Imagine this. You know what I mean? I'm from Birmingham. Imagine this. You got Pakistanis playing reggae music and they don't even know the words. You believe in Allah and there's a song talking about Rastafari and you don't
Right.
even know. But because we play and you know what I mean, everyone wants to follow kings, you do it. Why? Because it looks good, man. It sounds good. We're driving, modeling that car and the song, and you got to do it. Why? Because we're the kings of the earth, man.
Calm.
You believe in Allah so much, and you're playing a song about Haile Selassie, man, Rastafari, and you don't even know it. That's ridiculous. I don't play songs I don't know the words to. I don't listen to a song from India. Why? Because I don't know the words and it don't even sound good.
Correct.
But you listen to my music. Why? Because it sounds good. And why we are the soul of the earth, man. We are the kings of the earth. And even without a crown, even without the noble reputation we got, life shows you who the real kings are, man. We are fairer than the children of men. Life shows you. You know what I mean? Life shows you who the real kings are, and you see every day. You imagine this: the queen and the royal family, they got a throne, and no one wants to be like them. You got diamonds on a crown, and people want to be like a black man in the ghetto. That's the real
Right.
king right there. You know what I mean? Life shows you. Well, it's evident those people are the real royal family. Even though they're poor in the ghettos, in the ends, England wants to be like them.
Mm-hmm.
You're the biggest landowner, a royal family sitting on millions, and no one wants to be like you. No one's like, I want a fake gold crown to be like Queen Elizabeth. No one's doing that. You know what I mean? There's no one doing that. But there's a man going, you know what? I want to put that tracksuit on, man. Like them brothers from Handsworth, man. Like them brothers from the ghettos in London, man. There's someone all over England that wants to do that, man. Even in Ireland, they make a drill. They make Irish drill. It sounds horrible, by the way, but you know what I mean? They still desire to be like us, man.
Calm.
Why? Because we are the kings of the earth. Life shows you. If you don't believe me, just open the front door, man. Have a walk around and go, damn, everyone's acting like black people. Why? Because we are the kings of the earth. What if you read the second verse again?
Calm. Thou art fairer than the children of men.
Remember, we are better than the children of men. King David was better than any other king of the children of men, meaning the other nations, man. Life shows you we are better than you. Life, you know what I mean? Imagine this, and you can look this up. When the Windrush came to England, there's a pictures when the descendants come off the ship. We look fresh, man. Suits and ties, hats looking clean. On that ship, we washed, man. Then what happened when the Indians came to Jamaica? They was dirty and naked, man. Had on a loincloth. You can get the pictures online. They were nasty. It smelled. It shows you they're not us, man. We are better than them. Life shows you we just better than you. Even though we're poor, we're still better than you, man. Usain Bolt from Jamaica, a country that's poor, is running faster than people in rich countries, man.
Right.
Life shows you we're better than you. In a country where, you know, you eat what damn day you can get, man. And guess what? He runs faster than you in a rich country where you can buy what you like, man. He's just better than you. Life shows you what's up. Reader.
Khan.
Grace is poured into thy lips. Therefore, God hath blessed thee forever.
And there you go, man. The royal family we got, they're blessed forever, man. Yahushua, he's blessed forever, man. Why? Because he sits on the throne of David, man. We have a royal family, and it's not in the House of Windsor, man. Yo, man, what's funny is it shouldn't even be called the House of Windsor. And what's that a German name that had? I forgot it already, man. You know what I mean? But even that in itself, it shouldn't be called the House of Windsor. It shows you it's a joke, man. You're celebrating the Queen of England who's German. You know what I mean? That's a hard one, man. That's a hard pill to swallow right there, man.
Right.
The Queen ain't even of your ancestry. She's of German descent. And it hurt them that much. They changed the name, man. Reader.
Khan.
Therefore, God hath blessed thee forever.
Reader.
Gird thy sword upon thy thigh, O most mighty, with glory and thy majesty.
And imagine that, man. Imagine a king with a sword on his thigh, man. Look, you know what I mean? Not looking weak. The queen looks weak, man. What's that handshake she does? Like in this.
Right.
Did you on this?
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
God.
Yeah, and walking around there, and then the cameras on their exercise. Listen, man. Our kings look glorious, man. And they look feeble and weak, man. King David had a sword on his thigh, man. You know what I mean? The Bible don't say, but imagine that sword made out of gold, man. Or the case in it, there's some solid gold with a design on it, man. Our kings look mighty, not weak in the chair, just. What the fuck is that, man? You know what I mean? Reader.
Khan. And in thy majesty ride prosperously because of truth and meekness and righteousness. And thy right hand shall teach thee terrible things.
There you go. Meaning what? What made our kings so great is that they feared the Lord, man. They were righteous. And because they were righteous, that's why they prospered, man. And thy right hand shall teach a terrible things. Meaning if you don't obey, King David got serious, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? You did not listen while he was king. You learned some terrible things, man. You got taught a terrible lesson, which is the point that this writer is writing about King David right here. Let's get Isaiah 62 and 3. Again, let's find out who the real royalty is. Okay, we got a comment from Parakia. They even got Meghan Markle prancing around. It seems outdated for 2022. Down to the clothes they're wearing, they all seem like fake royals to me. It's just a show. Well, okay, in regards to that being said, remember, they're not us. You know what I mean? One thing with black people, Hispanics and Native Indians, we are a trendy race of people, man. We always keep on the move. Black fashion doesn't stay in one place, man. I'll give you one example. You know, because of the COVID lockdown, I ain't been to a Passover in a while. So the Passover garments I make, when I went to Passover, the new garments are upgraded, man.
Right.
I felt outdated in the Passover. I felt like a Passover a version 1.6. You know, I felt like, oh, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm wearing something outdated here. New Passover garments. They look glorious, man. We are a people. We keep moving.
That's right.
Now, with our oppressor, they stay there, man. If that's what they're wearing, that's where it stays. It don't move. Life shows you black music moves, man. You had the a jungle music in the 90s. Late 90s, you had the a garage music. Then what you had grime, man. We are people, we move and do things. Our oppressor, if it wasn't for us, they'll be listening to opera till this day, man.
God, that's right.
It would never change. It would never change. You would turn on BBC One and hear opera all day, man.
Right.
But because we're people, we're so influential and we always undergo making new things, new trends. You know what I mean? We are the people that keep England going, man. Otherwise, it would stay the same, like in the royal family. As what Paraki said, it looks so outdated. Why? Because they're isolated from the world, man. And they look so outdated while what blacks and Hispanics and Native Indians, we keep moving. They stay in the same place, man. Life shows, man, grime. You know what I mean? Now you got UK rap, man. You got, you know what I mean? And you give it another 5 years, maybe a garage might even come back out with another twist. You know what I mean? I know that. You know, I listened to one extract. It seems like with the a jungle music, that's back out now, man. I'm hearing that in some songs like a jungle mix. So, you know, we are people, we keep on the move, man. Life shows you, even rap music in the 60s doesn't sound like rap music that you hear now. Back then, it was just a break beat, that's what it was called. Then what? The music got finesse, man. Then you got the drum patterns. Then they took the samples of old jazz songs in the 90s. Then as a time went on, what it progressed, man. We're people that keep moving. We always stay on the go. Our oppressor, if it was left to him, they'd be doing the same things forever, man.
Right.
Look at a place where we are not, and it's so backwards. You know what I mean? We are in Denmark, we're in Amsterdam, but there's some places in the world where we are not, and they're so backwards. You know what I mean? Like, raw. These people are living in the 60s still. Why? Because we're not there, man. Right, let's get that. Let's get Isaiah 62. Which verse was it? Okay, 62 and 3.
If you got that young one, I'll read it.
This is the book of Isaiah, verse 62, verse 3. Thou shalt also be a crown of glory in the hand of the Lord, and a rail,
diadem
in the hand of thy God.
So meaning what? In the hand of God, we are royalty, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're a crown of glory. A king has a crown, and the Lord saying, "In my power, in you know what I mean, to the Lord, we are royalty, man. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are that real royal family, man. We're that people that should be ruling, not the rulers of the earth today, man. We are the real royal family, man. In the hand of the Lord, we are a crown of glory, man. And life shows you, even in our wickedness, man, even in our ignorance, life shows you that we are the kings. I gave many examples about the fashion, the lingo, you know what I mean? Even the music that we play, man. Other nations don't even understand the words. You know what I mean? For all you know, we could be laughing at you in the song, but you don't even know. Why? Because you just got to play it. Why? Because the kings are playing it, man.
That's right.
You just want a piece of it, man. I don't know if you can find the video, but it happened in Hyde Park. A brother called Respect, he was arguing with some Indian, and you could tell he was fresh from India or Pakistan. He's like, "Yo, waste man, yo, waste man." You know what I mean? In Pakistan, they don't say waste man. Stop it. With his hat to the back, like, what's up with this guy, man? You know what I mean? It looks so cheesy. I mean, after seeing him, I can't put a hat to the back ever again, man. I can't do it now, man. Nah, man. It's lucky. Nah,
Right.
that hat to the back is done for me, man. I swear forward to block the sun out my eyes. That's it, man. You know what I mean? I'm never putting a hat to the back ever again. If I find a video, you know what I mean? I'll definitely share a piece of it for you. But yeah, man, life shows you who the real kings are. When you want to be like a people that are poor, man. Imagine this: as an Indian man in this society, you are richer than us. We come to your shops. We are, in some cases, subservient to you, and you want to be like the person subservient. That's insane. Usually in life, you want to be like the people on top. Who wants to be like the people they are over? Which shows you how much of a king we really are, man.
That's right.
That don't make no sense. Usually, everyone's goal is to be like the person up above. You don't go, I'm above this person, but I like what they do. Yeah, man, that's so cool. How he walked in the room and said that lingo. Oh gosh, yo. That's weird. But that shows who we really are as a people. All right, let's get the third precept. All right, let's get First Peter's 2:9. First Peter's 2:9.
The book of First Peter, chapter 2 and verse 9. But ye are a chosen generation.
Oh, there you go, man. We are a chosen generation, man. Meaning what? The Lord didn't choose everyone, man.
Right.
Which I don't want to divert, but it shows that these Gentiles in First Peter's, they are Israelites. Only the Israelites are a chosen generation, man. We are a people that was chosen by the Lord. Read on.
So 2 and 9. A royal priesthood.
Oh, there you go, man. There's that royal again, man. There's that royalty, man. We are a royal priesthood, man. Meaning what? We are a people that what? We were chosen by God to be royal, man. We were chosen to be royalty in the eyes of the Lord, man. Read on.
And holy nation. A peculiar people.
It's like a holy nation, man. A separate nation. A people that what? Have God's laws, man. A people that, you know what I mean? We are chosen, you know what I mean, by the Lord to be what? The real royal family, man. No other nation, no other people. Read on.
A peculiar people.
A peculiar people, man. And life shows you. Does anyone know what the word peculiar means?
Peculiar means like strange, like abnormal.
Oh, and there you go, man. Now, who is abnormal like us, man?
Right.
To where people laugh at us, but deep down they like it, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Of course, I don't encourage Rastafarianism, nothing, but it was peculiar in unrighteousness. But what happened? England loved it, man.
Right.
In the 70s and the 80s, reggae music dominated England, man. To where if you're interested in this, you may know this or you may not. A lot of reggae vinyls that you buy, they was made in England, man. They actually they were stopped being made in the West Indies. Why? Because England bequested them so much. A lot of those vinyls from the 70s, from the 80s, if you look on them, they're made in London, man. That song was recorded in North London, South London. You know what I mean? It says it on the vinyl. To where afterwards, Jamaican recording studios that they had, not saying songs weren't made there, but afterwards, a lot of them were made in England, man. That's how big reggae music was over here. To where even some of your biggest reggae greats died in England, man. That one Uga Aminat, does anyone know where he died?
No.
He died in England, man. And he lived in Birmingham. Because obviously this generation, they don't know his songs, but he was around in Birmingham. He came from Jamaica, and then like he lived his rest of his life out in Birmingham, man. Why? Because reggae music was that big over here that from making songs in Jamaica and then coming to England, some found it best just to live in England, man. What's another brother, Horace Andy? I believe he's gone back to Jamaica now, but what? He spent many years in England, man. Those 70s and early 80s reggae artists, they lived in England, man. Why? Because reggae music was that big over here. Even though our oppressor laughed a little, like, you mean that, what is that, a booga booga music, they used to call it that booga booga music. But guess what? Eventually, all of England like that a booga booga music. You know what I mean? To where what? You can research this too. They wouldn't rent nightclubs to black people, so we would have house parties called a shubbing. A shubbing meaning what? Everyone is basically shoved into one room. You know what I mean? So that's what it was called. And white people left nightclubs to be in a Benjamin house party, man.
God.
You left the disco light, man. You know what I mean? To be in a house party with the light turned off, man. You know what I mean? Obviously, you know what I mean? We don't have the disco light. So what do we do? Just turn the lights off, man. And to make the music run. And you left the disco ball, man, to go on to go and be in the main room of a black man's house, man, and dance and drink. Why? Because we are the kings of the earth, man. We turned that house into the best party, man. Although you had nightclubs, why? Because we are the kings of the earth.
Right.
We can turn a house into the best party going. You got the nightclub with the disco light, man. The drinks on the house, and you just couldn't do it, man. Why? Because we are the kings of the earth. And life shows you time and time again who we really are, man. All right, let's get the next. It's like a read on in First Peter's.
That ye should shew forth the praises of him who hath called you out of darkness into his marvelous light.
And who called us out of darkness? The Lord, man. The Lord called us out of the Christian church. The Lord called us out of that mosque, man. The Lord called us out of Rastafarianism to what? Living his light, meaning living the path he set for us, man. Which is the point. All right, let's get some more.
It's like you said, I also seen a question quite some time ago. Someone asking if they can buy on the Feast of the First Fruits.
Okay, yes, you can. So now, remember, with holy days in the Bible, they are a Sabbath day, meaning you can't work. So ideally, of course, we live in a kingdom that doesn't serve God. But on holy days, if you can get the day off work, do get it, man. You know what I mean? If you can get a day where you don't have to work on a holy day, that's really how you should do it. That's how it should be done. But if you buy something from a shop, that's not your occupation. That's not your job. So absolutely, yes, you can.
Oh, okay.
Now, I just want to make sure if you run an online a business and you're buying merchandise for that business, then no, because that is work. So you know what I mean, just to let you know, all right? All right, let's get some more. All right, let's get First Peter's 2 and 5. So down a few. Yes,
First Peter 2 verse 5. Ye also, as lively stones, are built up a spiritual house, an holy priesthood, to offer up the spiritual sacrifices acceptable to God by Jesus Christ.
And there, man, we are the people that are holy, not what you call today the royal family, man.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We're the people that offer up them sacrifices, man. We're the people that the Lord goes, that is my people, man. Right. Life shows you who the real royalty is. It's not far-fetched. You know what I mean? Just open up your door, man. Look around, look wherever you go, man. In Blackpool right now, they are doing grime. Let me tell you something. Black people don't live in Blackpool, man.
God.
Blackpool is a meth infested area, man. I'm gonna blow your mind. Who's been to a Blackpool?
God, I mean.
So now, on the main strip, you see the beach, you see the nice rides. What happens when you take it off-road?
Off-road.
I'll say it for you if you don't want to say it.
Go ahead.
Blackpool is a shithole, man. You know what I mean? Now, thing is, because of the nice rides and the beach, that's all they let you see. Just go on a regular road. So remember, you got the main part where everyone goes. Just take a right. The houses are dingy and run down, man. Everyone's on drugs. Literally everyone's missing teeth from meth, man. I'm not making it up. And this is great Blackpool, man. The great tourist place. And you just go on an off-road, not even far. You drive to one of the many car parks to have, and you'll see the poverty, man. And black people do not live there. And even there, they want to be like us, man. They're doing grime and they can't MC for nothing, man. It's dreadful, man. Right. It's atrocious. But guess what? They want to be like us even when we're not there, man. Why? Because we are the real kings of the earth, man. You know, right? Let's get the next precept. Let me get it quickly. All right, let's get Exodus 19 and 5. Yeah, man. Like what Nakapaya said, you know, I believe you've been to Blackpool. It is rough. You see nice Blackpool, the big rides, the beach, the roller coaster. Just take it off-road and the houses are run down, and you know what I mean? The people in some dirty clothing that you'll be like, this is Blackpool. You know what I mean? And everyone's on drugs. Research it. This ain't what I'm making up. Blackpool has one of the highest drug addiction rates in the UK, man. Loads of them are on meth, ecstasy heads, you know what I mean? Not even weed. I'm talking like hard drugs. Of course, I'm not saying weed is not a drug. Weed is a drug too. Right. But they're on some serious drugs in Blackpool, man. And that's just, and that's just on any random road. And that's right, it is rough. You know what I mean? I'll see if I can get some of it for you online. I'll show you a piece of Blackpool, man. But let's get that Exodus 19 and 5.
Exodus 19 and 5. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine.
And there, man, look what the Lord said. If we serve him, we can get whatever we want. Why? Because all is his, man. All is his. Imagine this. There's a God that owns everything. And he's saying, if you serve me, I'll give it to you, man. It's like, there's something you have, and you tell someone, if you do what I say, because it's mine, I will give it to you, man. And the Lord owns the earth, and He's saying, if we serve Him, we can have it, man. You know what I mean? We can have it. Why? Because it's the Lord's to give, man. It's like you have a wife, and she wants to drive your car. It's yours, and you have the power to go no or yes, man. She wants to drive your car, like, no, you're mad. Or you have the power to go yes. You know what I mean? You're gonna need my car. Why? Because it's yours. You have the power to give it or not to give it. And the Lord's saying, if you serve me, because this earth is mine, I can give it to you, man. You can have it if you serve me. But right, man, I found it. I found the Blackpool poverty. All right, let me see if we can screen share this with you. All right, let me get it. Listen, this is famous Blackpool, man. So there's an advert there.
It's one of Britain's iconic seaside towns,
Look at this.
known for its beach, pleasure piers, and the imposing Blackpool Tower. But in recent years, Blackpool has been attracting attention for all of the wrong reasons. The town now has the highest rate of deaths related to drug misuse in England and Wales. It's a battle people here have been fighting for a number of years. Blackpool topped the list between 2017 and 2019 with 18.9 deaths per 100,000 people. Now, that rate is 18% higher at 22.1 deaths. But do the people of Blackpool believe these grim statistics paint a fair picture of their town?
Right, so I'll skip. So I just want to show you some of the off-roads and
I've seen people.
the Blackpool that you don't see if they have it. So now this is Blackpool. Imagine that. You saw the nice tourist side.
Now has the highest rate of
This
death.
is a Blackpool they never show you.
Weed. I've seen it from
Literally
8 o'clock
not far.
till 8:30 till 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Kids walking to school. Kids are going to see it.
As far as supply and demand go, well, that's always there, isn't it?
You know he's on drugs.
A habit that maintain.
But yeah, I mean, you can watch these in your own time, of course. But you know what I mean. But yeah, man, that's the class, man. So you know what I mean. Hope everyone got some understanding on the Jubilee and what the real Jubilee is according to the Bible. This Saturday we'll be doing camp on the Birmingham High Street. Tomorrow, Officer Shamgar, the language class, and on the ends. And yeah, we'll be on the Birmingham High Street this Saturday as well. All right, Israel. All right, with that, Imadium, we're going to salute out. Men of Israel, Imadium Shabbat. Imadium, Barak, Yahweh, Hawashai, Batham.
Yahweh Shem Yashab Qatar.
All right, Yad Yamata, class dismissed.